Hey, this is Frank Radice at the Red Touch Media continuing series on the future of content, and we're here with Dale Smith, who is the CEO and executive producer of Black Contemporary TV. Dale, tell me a little bit about Black Contemporary TV, what you guys do.
Black Contemporary Television is a full-powered broadcast TV station in Dallas, Texas. It runs 24 hours, 7 days a week. 80% of the programming is either original or content that's been brought in from overseas, such as Africa and India, that nobody has really seen here, but it's reruns from those countries. Our mission is basically to connect to the community and create community events in the TV content. We picked the #1 radio DJs in town, turned them into TV shows. Our news is real sort of rock and roll-ish. We've got a situation called Talk Fusion, where there's 15 pictures and people on the screen that talk to our anchor. So our anchor is talking to somebody in different parts of the city about different things that are going on, so we get a full scope of what happened that day from every borough, every neighborhood, every inch of Dallas, Texas.
So if I'm not living in Dallas, Texas, yet I still want to see some of your content, I can obviously go to the internet and I can find it where?
Right, at bctv.tv.
Do you find that you're getting a lot of interplay between the viewers outside of the Dallas market through your digital play?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as Africa, in fact, that's how the Indian group found us, because they called us and they said, look, all our program is not Bollywood. A lot of it's black and interactive because we produce for Africa. Then there's some Chinese producers, believe it or not, that are backing black content out of Africa, and we're getting some of their stuff in. So it's a brave new world we're looking at right now.
So you're talking about Nollywood?
Nollywood, right. Talking about Nollywood. Nollywood is a great provider of content to us. Plus, Spencer Williams, the guy that played Amos and Andy, he was one of the most prolific filmmakers in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He got old, moved back to Tyler, Texas, where he grew up, took all his films with him, put them in a garage, in a barn, died, and they sat there for almost 20 years. This lady found it, called SMU, because she went to SMU, gave them to SMU. SMU cleaned them up, packaged them up, and then had nowhere really to put them except for Black History Month. Well, they saw what we were doing, gave us all 131 films to air. So we have his whole collection. We also have a retro collection of Stormy Weather with Lena Horne and Bill Bojangles.
Wow, really
We've got all the classics. We got all that stuff. So everybody has looked at us and said, look, even though we only use it for Black History Month, you guys can use it for content. Then the White House actually sends us Barack's whole conversations, his whole message. So in other words, when he's talking about affordable health care or the middle class, or he's in Africa doing a speech to the African college there, instead of sound bites, we aired a whole 1 hour, hour and a half.
That's fantastic. So what would the next step be for you guys? Because it just sounds like it's a unique proposition.
It is. We're looking at going into Houston, LA, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Cleveland by the end of July, because we've got a group that runs a lot of low-powered and Class A powered stations, the ones that aren't going to be sucked up by Spectrum when the cell companies come running, and they need content, but they can't afford to produce it. So they're looking for affiliations. So obviously Fox and all those guys aren't interested, but in our case, it puts us into 50 to 60% of the country, and it becomes a very solid platform to keep building our network aspirations on.
So how are you distributed right now? Is it a cable distribution? Is it
just straight antenna? It's antenna TV. We're one of the greatest promoters of antenna TV. Break it down like this. When you go to an advertiser and you're BET, you can only justify the subscriber. We go to an advertiser, we tell them we reach all 1.1 million African and African Americans in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So when we start talking about a cost per thousand, your CPMs, ours is a much more attractive platform. Now we're backing into Universe, we're backing into cable. In other words, we went to them first, they would have charged us for those channels because we're unproven. But now we're doing ratings, we're coming around at 1.8, 2.2 in Nielsen.
Those are great numbers.
Oh, incredible numbers, especially in the top 10 city.
Yeah.
Plus, we have our interactive being built now. So the interactive is going to just be a simulcast of what we're doing, and all the shows will be archived. Because for 2 years I worked for Time Warner, providing content when they first broke the on-demand, and I looked at it, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Time Warner was wasting the on-demand. I said, this on-demand is being wasted. So we're now creating that model online. Looks great. It's, with the internet being what it is, it really is giving us a big boost all over the world. Like I said, that's how the Asians found us, and that's how the Indians found us.
I was at MIPCOM last year, and I had not heard of Nollywood. It was the first time I had any experience with it. The number of hours that are available in Nollywood, the amount of money that it costs to produce a show, creating a cost per thousand, that's just got to be fantastic for an organization like yours.
It is. And also we have a content package called Hidden Colors. Ever you get a chance to look at it, rent it or catch it online, Hidden Colors talks about the true history of Africans and Black Americans from the beginning to up to now. And it talks about the Ethiopian castles that they never show. They always show flies on kids and all that stuff. But the Ethiopian castles architecture was 500 years older than the European architecture, and it's an exact duplicate of all those castles.
So the content then, it's entertainment as well as educational, as well as cultural. It just sort of spans across all the spectrum.
Absolutely, it does. It really does. And we're creating new stars. We're creating brand new stars. Like people that come out of Dallas really aren't Hollywood people, but they're really unique personalities, and they're gravitating toward us now because they have a chance to really, explain what's on their mind, expose themselves to a new, brave new world. Just really it's coming together. As you look on our website, you see samples of all the different shows, and you see how great these people are, all amateurs.
Well, that's a fantastic story. I hope you have a really great market. Thank you very much, Dale Smith, CEO, executive producer of Black Contemporary Television. This is Frank Radice. See you next time.